Frost, and we're back again with another Elestrals Champions of Divine Champions Day 6. We are, I believe, we're doing Day 6. Day 5, 6, 6, I think it's Day 6. But we are here for this. Let's see what's going on here. We're popping like Void Champions of Artemis. Now, obviously, whoever the new lunar one, which in my opinion, if it's not Hades, if Hades is not the lunar champion, the lunar we're getting, lunar divine we're getting for champions, the champions entire sets. What are we doing here? But let's see what's going on with Artemis right now. We won't find out who the new lunar champion is until we get to set 6, 7, or 8.
You guys already know that lunar is my favorite element.
Hey, look, we got the stellar bears over here, the non-stellar and the stellar version.
And we are gonna turn it up in this video. Firestorm reveals, lunar casters get ready. Let's dive in. If you haven't pre-ordered Elestrals Divine Champions Firestorm, what are you doing? This set is bonkers. Double starter decks, same price.
I would definitely not call it bonkers, but it's interesting. It is interesting is a word I would go with, not bonkers.
4 packs, insane. We've also got that exclusive Exaltair Stellar promo that comes with every order over 50 USD, and you get 2 of them if you spend 100 or more, and 3 of them if you spend 150 or more. We scaled the promos up, so take advantage of that because that is awesome. But like I said, today is all about the lunar element. We're going to be revealing a handful of new lunar cards that are going to take advantage of Artemis's incredible ability to suppress cards on the field, and that's going to be the focus today. So let's take a look at our first champion, Werepup, champion of Artemis.
Ooh, look at that.
I'm reminding you guys that these champion cards are considered title cards, which means that if you have Werepup, champion of Artemis, you can run 3 copies of that, and you can run 3 copies of the original Werepups. So when you consider building out your decks and how these cards can synergize together, don't forget that. Werepup, champion of Artemis is a brand new Werepup with 3 attack and 2 defense. You can special ascend this Werepup to Like a Void from your hand or deck if an opponent has at least 2 suppressed cards. So again, leaning heavily into the suppression mechanic that Artemis provides, you can suppress your opponent's cards by utilizing cards like Dense Fog as well, so you do have a couple options there.
I mean, obviously, if your opponent has 2 Elestrals on the field, and they're both neither one of them are lunar enchanted, and you do flip over that Dense Fog, boom, you cast this thing out. Oh, you guys were suppressed. Let me just get into Like a Void. Now, obviously, it could be like it says Like a Void. It doesn't say Like a Void Champion of Artemis. It just says Like a Void. So you can go with either the champion version or the base set version.
When this Werepup is destroyed in battle, you can suppress a card on your opponent's field until the next turn. So you have an opportunity here to turn off your opponent's effects when they destroy your Werepup. So that could actually...
That is definitely interesting for sure. Put this thing in defense position and say your opponent has Chronodial and they pop something else, or you have 2 of these on the field, and say your opponent does have Chronodial, or your opponent has what is it, the Pharaohgeist on their side of the field, and they happen to take this thing out. Chronodial, of course, can't be targeted to, like, this would definitely turn it off. It's very interesting to see what here, especially Pharaohgeist. This one would definitely be a great Pharaohgeist counter because it's in defense position. The opponent's Pharaohgeist knocks it out. Pharaohgeist, of course, is now, like, so when you, like, on your next turn, you can cast anything without having to pay. And the fact that Pharaohgeist now has no effect for the next turn, so you can actually get rid of it a lot more ways than just, oh, well, we have to put it in the defense position and attack into it like a bear. Like, you have to find a different way. So it's gonna be interesting to see this for sure. Also, like, say I use my, if I have Sonic on my side of the field and I destroy this thing, Sonic now becomes susceptible to counter ruin. So I take this thing out. You have a Tsunami on your side of the field, face down. You go to your turn. You hit Tsunami on this you use Tsunami because my Sonic is is suppressed. You can put me in this defense position and then destroy my Sonic Core in one way because Sonic only has 2 defense, which I absolutely hate.
Actually be really useful, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the card that ultimately destroyed Werepup. You can target any card on your opponent's field and suppress them. So Werepup is going to allow you to kind of set up for its first effect and also add more suppression to your opponent's field. passively. Up next, Artemis is rocking a brand new champion, her Leica Void. Incredibly powerful.
Ooh.
We've seen Leica Void.
Look at this card art, and you got Artemis in the back who's pretty much just telling her, throwing her, I don't know, whatever they're going to be held in, like, you know, balls or squares or whatever, throwing them out, and it's like, go Leica Void to battle. When you cast this Leica Void, you can special cast any number of Werepups from your deck with lunar suppress. You can destroy a suppressed celestial on your field. If you do, destroy a suppressed celestial on your opponent's field. What?
Werepup and Full Moon take a huge step forward here in the current Moonrise metagame, and this new Leica Void is going to allow you to swarm the field in a way that you've never been able to do before. 6 attack and 5 defense for this 2-cost lunar Elestral that states when you cast this Leica Void, you can special cast any number of Werepup from your deck with lunar suppressed. That means that those Werepup are coming to the field without an effect, and they will not be able to get their effect at any point after they are cast because they are going to be suppressed indefinitely. This is going to allow you to get more suppressed cards on.
That is interesting. That is a very, very interesting way to... You're putting 3 up there that have no effect, like, at all. At all. So, But honestly, if you have this Leica Void on the field, you don't really want to have the other ones on there. Suppressing it is that's very interesting.
Onto your field and activate some really unique effects, but most importantly, you're allowed to swarm the field with your Werepup, as you can cast out up to 3 Werepup to your field to sit alongside this Leica Void. This immediately gets you incredible amounts of pressure, even if those Werepup cannot have their effects. Very, very powerful. This Leica Void then goes on to say that you can destroy a suppressed Elestral on your field. If you do, destroy a suppressed Elestral on an opponent's field. So what that means is you have the flexibility to destroy or sacrifice one of your Werepup, almost like a boom bat in a way, and destroy an opponent's suppressed Elestral on the field. So you are going to have to be really mindful about how you activate your cards to suppress your opponent's cards, but nonetheless, this Leica Void is going to bring so much power when it swarms Werepups to the field, and your opponent's going to have to deal with that immediately because that is a lot of pressure. Very, very epic new card. Up next, we've got a little bit more offensive support for Artemis, being able to take advantage of that suppression and turn it into something very positive for your game plan. We've got Pandalins, the champion of Artemis, swooping onto the field with 4 attack and 1 defense, and its effect states that when 1 or more Elestrals become suppressed, or when a player plays an Elestral suppressed, an opponent must expend a spirit. That is going to give you the opportunity to burn your opponents every time you're suppressing them.
So basically, if you have this on the field and you have the Leica Void on the field, you can only, of course, only put 2 up, 2 Werepups up that are suppressed. Those 2 Werepups then make your opponent expend 2. Oof, interesting. When an Elestral becomes suppressed, or when its player plays an Elestral suppressed. So basically, yeah. And then, of course, say you have this Pendulance on the field and you hit Dense Fog on your opponent. Say they have like 2 rabbits on the field in defense position, and then you want to play this. You want to play Dense Fog while this Pendulance is on the field. That then means again your opponent has to expend 2 spirits. Very interesting.
To get a little bit more value out of your Artemis suppression, but also get some value out of cards like your Leica Void casting out suppressed Werepups. Pandalins, I think, is a card that is going to age very, very well as additional suppression tools are added to the game. And in the meantime, I think it can make a splash in Artemis decks as you work to build and suppress your opponent's strategies while you build your own board state to put them in a bad spot and force them to react to your offensive onslaught. I want to give a shout out to my man Full Frontage, by the way, who had the opportunity to reveal this card early, so big shout outs to him. Now it's time for us to take a look at one of my absolute favorite cards we've ever made. I love this card.
I swear he's said that in every one of these videos we've seen so far. Like, every time he's like, here's one of my absolute favorite cards every single time. I mean, Dan, I know you love this entire, love Elestrals, and I love that you're putting together, but you can't just keep saying that every single card that you throw out here is your absolute favorite.
It's one of my favorite Elestrals, and I think it's going to make a huge impact as we talk about swarming the board and taking advantage of suppression, and that is none other than Specterus, champion of Artemis. This new Insectoid comes to the field with 4 attack and 2 defense, and its effect states that this Specterus can be special cast from your hand with Lunar if an opponent has at least one suppressed card. That means if you pair this with Artemis, you immediately can special cast out your spell.
Yeah, because it says card. It doesn't say Elestrals. So, like, if I have Apollo on my side of the field doing the effect, and you bring Artemis out, and you suppress my Apollo so I can't use it, oh, Spectrus comes out. Same thing. That's interesting. That's a good way to take advantage of the Artemis suppression tool. Or again, if you play Dense Fog on your turn, you can put this thing out there. My question is, if you say you have two of these Spectruses in your hand, and you have an Celestial or a card suppressed, can you play both of them at the same time?
Spectrus, which has massive implications, not only in terms of ascending your Lunar Elestrals and being able to get out cards like Phasmacore, or even something like a Like a Void, like I mentioned earlier, and be able to put that pressure on your opponent by getting 2 drops out. But one of the coolest combinations you can utilize Spectrus with is with Ardbud. Obviously, you're already leaning into the lunar element with your Aardvark,
and you can bring him out.
And now having flexibility with Spectrus to be able to special cast it out to the field and use it as fodder alongside your Ardbud. I think my Ardbud enjoyers are going to be really excited about this card because it has some massive, massive implications for Lunar, not just today, but for the future of the game. And I am very, very excited about this card. I hope you guys have so much fun with it. And believe it or not, I'm not even done because we've got a brand new Reverse Stellar to reveal for you guys. Reverse Stellars are absolutely amazing pulls out of your booster boxes. I'm a big fan of them. In Moonrise, we obviously had the Lunar Phase Reverse
Which was
Stellars
stupid.
that you guys were able to collect. But we're switching things up here for Firestorm. And our first reveal here on these Reverse Stellars is going to be Reverse Stellar Spectrus Champion.
I'm just going to be be that guy when it's like, why are we giving Elestrals that had Stellars already the Reverse Stellar treatments? Why can't we get Elestrals that haven't seen a Stellar yet printed the Stellar or Reverse Stellar treatment? Spectrus has had its Stellar already. Why can't we give that to something else? Why are we I know he loves these cards and everything, but it's like, why is Spectrus getting another Stellar when it's already had a Reverse Stellar itself? Or a Stellar itself? Like, Werepup has one, Like a Void has one. Who doesn't have a Stellar or Reverse Stellar out of these Lunars? Like, it just feels like I should be seeing Stellars for cards that haven't had those in set 1 if we're doing all these champions. That's just me. Like, seriously.
Of Artemis. We already talked about its effect, but big shout outs to this artwork because it is gorgeous. As a proud owner of 3 Daybreak Spectrus Stellars, I need 3 of these bad boys, no doubt about it. This is going to be one of my top chase cards in the game. And you may notice something about the numbering here, by the way. I hear the collectors, for our main sets, we are going to be numbering our Reverse Stellars separately from the main set. That was a bit of feedback that we had gathered over the last couple sets. So we're going to take care of that for you guys as well. So get excited there. A lot of great stuff. An incredible pull that you'll be able to find in your Firestorm products. One of the things I love is our pre-order bonuses. And we've got an exclusive one for our local game stores.
That's what I was wondering.
You're not going to want to miss out on. And that is the brand new Stellar Emphyrix Champion of
Okay.
Hestia. A brand new champion Celestial.
Okay.
Bring the heat.
Even though again, Emphyrix had a
One
Stellar.
cost fire with an awesome effect that says you can disenchant a fire spirit from your Hestia in order to add a 1 spirit fire Celestial from your underworld to your hand. So we know Hestia really benefits from being able to get those fire Celestials that she can special cast out to the field, and Emphyrix is going to allow you that regeneration of bringing those Elestrals back to your hand.
Again, Divine Healing is going to see a lot more play from Poseidon's Fury to basically this thing, like anything that has to do with Hestia disenchanting to play a 1-cost fire spirit on your field. Again, people sitting there saying, "Oh, Divine Healing is not much better," but Divine Healing is. I'm seeing a lot more use for Divine Healing in Divine Champions than in set 1.
When you ascend this Emphyrix during your end phase, you can special cast it from your underworld with fire.
Wow, that's a lot.
Talked a lot about how Hestia can utilize some very cool ascension plays, so you can very easily cast this thing out with Hestia's effect. Find something from your underworld to add it to your hand. Ascend this thing into another Elestral like a Blazerus or a Leonite or otherwise. Deal massive amounts of damage and then bring Emphyrix back in the end phase to be able.
Yo, that's a turbo out the Trifernal if you have it done right. Like, my goodness. Like, your opponent has 2 face-up attack of 2 Elestrals on their side of the field. you're able to combo this thing out into a Blazerist, take both of them down, bring Trifernal out, and just hit them for massive damage. Yeah, that's an interesting combo there.
Able to put more pressure on your opponent.
And it's going to be a lot easier to get this combo out to, say, get Blazerist in the Trifernal than it is to do Exalt Flare and everything. Because you all you have to do is just be like, okay, you have this, you have Hestia on their side of the field. Disenchant one, yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see, but definitely an interesting, I can't wait to see Infurix itself, because of course this is the RGS promo. I'm sure we're going to get this later on.
This card is a gorgeous, gorgeous promo, and one you do not want to miss out on. So make sure you guys are showing love at your local game store. You can pre-order Elestrals through your local shops. We work with distribution in Canada now, so if you're in Canada, we work with Universal Distribution, so your stores can get stuff from there. If you're in EU, we work with Blackfire EU, which is the biggest European distributor of card games. If you're in the UK, we work with Bliss UK, which is one of our new distributors there as well.
That's good to
hear. We are expanding globally for you guys to be able to get your cards. And if you're in the US, we work with a handful of the best distributors across the United States markets to get you guys cards. So tell your local game stores to pre-order Firestorm so you can get yourself a Stellar Infurix, a pre-order and order exclusive through LGS while supplies last. Don't miss out. Now is the time to
That is your day. What is this? Day 6? Day 5? I think it's day 6. I believe this is day 6, day 5 or 6 of your Elestrals Divine Champions Firestorm pre-order preview. As we're getting close down to the end of the 25 days, I don't understand why pre-orders are live right now. I'm surprised it wasn't like, here's all the product coming out, pre-orders go live on the 25th day or the day after or whatever. But he was like, no, immediately we're going to allow pre-orders. That's a funny picture right there. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, as we have less than 20 days now of all this still going down. Honestly, I figured, like, if they would have did this and had this done set up right, because we aren't going till May, this doesn't come out till May, I figured that with the next set coming out, set 5, we were going to start this at Dallas or right after Dallas. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next reveal. And until then, my name is Franz. I'll see you guys later.